Hi guys, it's me Beata from horoscopesandreadings.com, and today I decided to make a little bit different video, but this is obviously educational channel because you like to teach astrology, you like to learn astrology from me, and that's why sometimes I just randomly shoot video which is more educational. So this video is going to be about what I consider when reading horoscope, okay? Either birth chart, relationship horoscope, synastry, composite, whatever. But maybe more importantly, I wanna talk about things I don't consider, okay? So I've been in this field 13 years now. It's been 13 years. It's really a lot, And I can tell you that if you book a reading with me, or if you read, or if you try to interpret any type of chart, you really need to see big picture. You have to be able to make synthesis of things that are, oftentimes very different from each other. I'm talking about aspects now, and it is not always easy. I will say that either astrology or tarot reading, it's alchemy, right? It's something which you have to have that, feeling. I don't know how to say it. What to pull out of your horoscope, what is really important, because sometimes I have clients and they are asking me very, like tiny aspects, things about asteroids, and in my opinion, this is not very accurate about what you have to know about, let's say, your relationship. I know there is a plenty of free content on the internet, like those cookbooks you can probably download for free. I don't really know. But what I really don't want you is to get stuck on one particular aspect, maybe the one you find, the most romantic or whatever, because let me tell you, what really decides, I mean, let's talk about relationship astrology. What really decides are 5 biggest aspects, that major aspects. This is what decides your relationships, and of course, aspects between personal planets, but also with personal and other planets. What I don't work with are asteroids like Eros, Amor. I have this question, I just received it today, like, is your interpretation applicable to Amor square ascendant? I don't even know what is it, Amor, but I have all those things in my program, like Vesta, and really whatever you can think about. But years and years ago, I came to conclusion that this is not important, and if you work with astrology, if you work with clients and people, you know that what decides your life is not dependent on Eros or Vesta. This is not what even brings, let's say, major life events or, very important personality traits we are looking for, right? When it comes to predictions, I obviously work with transits, secondary progressions, and primary directions. These are 3 techniques I definitely work with, and I have great results, okay? Because this is what works. I mean, it works for me, but I really think, and I want to really talk about that. For me, asteroids are not important, because if you will try to, interpret everything what is really there, including all asteroids, you will get lost, in that interpretation, and you will lose your, let's say, cool, and you will not be able to say pretty much anything, okay? So if you are willing, you know, to follow my advice, you will for sure use 5 major aspects, which is really trine, sextile, conjunction, square and opposition. That's enough. And then you will also work with personal and outer planets. I work with Black Moon Lilith as well, because, you know, this is what definitely can color your personality to that extent that you will feel it in your day-to-day life, and also in synastry aspects with Lilith are felt. You know, this is what I strongly believe. I work with composite chart, but it's the same, you know. So I really don't use asteroids. So even if you come to me and you want a reading and you are asking about, you know, those type of things, about asteroids and some really specific asteroids, I immediately tell you that I don't use it in my practice, because this is not what will make or break your relationship. Okay, so I know that if you love astrology, you really want to know like everything, right? Everything, every tiny thing. I of course studied asteroids as well, but you know, it's been more than a decade now. And when I started to work with my clients, I actually realized that, you know, even if you find some video about, I don't know, something like there's going to be some life-changing event because you have this Vesta, I don't know, in some aspect to your sun, typically this just don't happen, you know, because typically everything what you need to know is what I just mentioned. Obviously, I work with nodes, North node, South node, very important for me. This is what I consider in relationship readings, because I found out that this can be sometimes major blockage of the relationship, but sometimes it can be like, yes, you guys definitely should be together because of those nodes, right? You know, so try to make it as simple as possible. And also when it comes to degrees, right? Because, you know, my clients, not all of them, but some of them are definitely advanced in astrology, and they are asking very specific questions. But what I've noticed is that they sometimes work with very wide orb, okay? And of course, the wider the orb, the less you will feel the effect. So especially if you're like beginner astrologer and it's just too much, you know, too much overwhelming information, I advise you to really consider aspects that are tightest, right? Like up to 3, really. I work with up to 5, but if you are just starting and learning, consider aspects in synastry grid or in your like birth chart grid that are up to 3, and you will get even a clear picture about who you really are, right? Because and what I also suggest you is to have your birth chart or your relationship horoscope done by someone else. Okay, I'm astrologer, but I still have my lovely astrologer, and when I want to consult, I consult with her, and I actually love it. I find it very enriching, even though I know what's up, but I still like to know, like, you know, like different attitude, right, to the way she reads charts. Okay, because I don't know about you, but what I have noticed is that, you know, if you give the same type of, let's say, natal chart to 5 astrologers, they all can actually tell you slightly different things, and it is because their focus in your birth chart can be different, can vary, okay? But as I have told you, it's alchemy, and the more experienced you are, you can actually come to conclusion, as I did like 5 years ago, and I definitely read charts more intuitively, okay? So of course the best way is to somehow use brain, but your logic, but also your intuition, because when we look at a birth chart or synastry, it's a lot of information, right? It's like you can talk for hours and still you are not done. That's why, especially when my clients turn to me, I have to really read very intuitively to tell them what they need to hear, right? Not to get stuck on errors, which doesn't give value to their readings. Okay guys, so this was my explanation. You can definitely type me into the comments what you think, but more importantly, I would like to know more, let's say, suggestions for what I should make videos about. If you want me some, let's say, real life examples, I can share with you the way I read chart, or whatever you would like to know from me, because as I have told you, this is educational channel. I like to provide content that has some added value to you, because I have a lot of experiences. Obviously, if you want to book reading, it's very simple and easy. You don't have to have really any knowledge of astrology, because everything about my services is listed in the description below. But also you can contact me, or you can actually read more about particular services on my website, horoscopesandreadings.com. Have a good day and bye bye.